Hi everyone, in this video we're going to talk about the chapter 6, which is about supply, demand and government policies. This is a book of Gregory, Principles of Economics. So first of all, we need to talk about the price ceiling. So the price ceiling, we say that there is a maximum price. Okay, so first of all, imagine that we are in the market of hamburgers. We have here the supply curve and here the demand curve. This is the equilibrium for prices and quantities 1. This is going to be the case when the price setting it is not binding. What does it mean? It means that the policy fixes a price max which is like higher to the equilibrium. So it means that it doesn't have any change to the original or to the equilibrium case. On the other side, we have the case where the price ceiling is binding. It means that it changes the quantity and the price in the market. So here is the price, here is the maximum price. So it means that the market, the suppliers, they cannot charge more than this price. Okay, so in this case, there is a difference, which is called the shortage. Why? Because this QS is the quantity that the suppliers they can supply. But on the other side of this price, because it's lower to the equilibrium, the quantity demanded is higher. So this difference, because there is a lot of people that they want to buy, but there is just this quantity available. So these old people, they cannot have this good. There's gonna be a kind of rational like mechanisms, like for example more lines, or maybe suppliers they discriminate which people they are going to provide a good. So this is the problem with the price ceiling. It's just binding where the price is lower than the equilibrium. The other case is the price floor. So we are talking about the minimum price, which is most of the cases is associated with the minimum wage, for example. So here we have the first case, which is not binding. So it's going to be the opposite. It's going to be where the minimum price is fixed lower than the equilibrium price, because this is the minimum price, but they're going to charge this price. So there's not going to be any change in the market. In the second case, we are talking about where the price floor is binding. So it is the case where the minimum price is higher than the equilibrium price. In this case, we see here a difference, which is called surplus. Why? Because here we have the quantity demanded, so it's going to be lower than the equilibrium quantity because of the low demand. Higher price, lower demand. But on the other side, at this price, the supplier they have more incentive to produce, so they have this QS. So this difference is a surplus. There is available these quantities, but the price did one. So this could be like if we talk about the labor market, we know where the supplier there is a surplus, so there is more workers that they are prepared for working instead of the demand of the companies. So this is given where the minimum wage have an incidence. So where when the minimum price is higher than the equilibrium price. So how taxes on buyers affect market outcomes? Imagine the same market of hamburgers. We have the supply curve and here the demand curve. So because of the buyers they have to pay higher price, it means that it affects initially the demand, the buyers. So in this case it's going to be they have to pay a higher price. Okay, so in this case the P1 is the initial price. Okay, the price that they have to pay at first, but because of the tax they have to pay this price. which is P3. So this is the price that they paid at first. But with the tax, they have to pay this one, and the P3 is the price paid by the buyers. But if we subtract P3 and P1, this is the value of the tax. So even the buyers, they pay more for the good. The sellers, they don't receive this quantity, because this they have to pay the taxes for the government. So in this case, the P1 is going to be the initial price, but at the same time, after the tax, is going to be the price received by the sellers. So taxes discourage market activity. When a good is taxed, the quantity of the good sold is smaller, as we see here, and in the new equilibrium. Okay. Buyers and sellers share the burden of taxes. In the new equilibrium, buyers pay more for the good and sellers receive less. So it's interesting, because even we are taxing buyers, it's going to be an effect to the sellers as well. So it doesn't matter that I'm just taxing the buyers, but it's going to affect suppliers as well. So now, what about how taxes on sellers affect the market? So here we have the initial price, which is quantity 1 on P1. So this is the initial price, and now there's going to be to the sellers. So remember, when it affect the sellers, the supply is going to shift to the left. So here, this is the price. So here we have, this was the initial price, P1. P3 is the price that is paid for the buyers, which is higher than P1. But sellers, again, they don't receive P3, they receive P2, because this one, the subtract of P3 minus P2, here is not P1, P2, is going to be the tax. Okay, so this is going to be the P2, going to be the price sellers receive. So we see here, if I tax suppliers, or if I tax, sellers or buyers, the effect is going to be almost the same. It doesn't matter who I tax, it's going to be affect, because it's going to affect both sides. What is the importance of elasticity and tax incidence? The importance of elasticity in taxation is because it depends who is going to be more heavily affected. So here, for example, we have again, imagine that this supply curve, as you notice, is kind of a little bit more lie down. So this is more elastic compared with the demand. So what's happening here? Here we have the same case. Imagine that this is the price with the tax, that the price that the buyers, they have to pay for. And this is the price P2 is going to be that they are going to receive. If you notice here, the change from P1 to P2 is shorter than the change from P1 for P3. It means that the buyers, they are charged more with the tax. So what is the conclusion of that? The tax falls more heavily on the more elastic, inelastic. Here is inelastic curve. So the inelastic you are, in this case, you are going to be more affected by the tax. If you are more elastic, like the supply curve, it's going to be less affected. So here is inelastic, okay, like we see here in the graph. Which is affected more is going to be the demand, because it's more inelastic. So if you are elastic, you're not going to be so affected. Okay, I hope it has worked. See you the next video. Bye bye.